So uncivilized.
Greetings and welcome to the 1/6 Scale Man proudly presents Uncivilized Scoundrels. It's going to be a great episode tonight because we got a lot to cover, man. And at episode 2 of Book of Boba was fire. It was incredible, man. And we have quite the panel tonight. We have a whole bunch of people here, ready to discuss tonight's episode. I'm just going to bring them in because I'm just excited, man. I'm excited, and I know everybody else is out there excited, so let's go. How's everybody going?
Hey,
What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on, man? Like, CC, how are you?
Good. I'm hanging in there. I'm just. I didn't have the kind of day that Mario had today, but I'm nursing a cold, so if I sound a little sniffly, that'll be why. So I'm hoping if I get a sneezing fit, I'll just mute the mic and God forbid, hopefully stop my camera as well.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, we're glad you're soldiering through and glad to have you here as always. You were missed last week, but we were going to actually zone out and not do it this week, but then was like, wait, do y'all know we have Book of Boba every week? So I was like, okay, yeah. All right, well, maybe we need to go ahead and do it then. So, so yeah, this is why we're here. How are you tonight? How are you this evening?
I am very well. So glad to be with you all here talking about Star Wars. That's always a good evening to me.
Yes. You know what time it is. I'm so glad to have you here. Ladies first, as always. My man, Vinny, with the room. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, bro. As you know, I run a landscaping business, so I should be sleeping right now because it's snowing here in Harrisburg, PA.
Did it start snowing already?
Oh, man. It's snowing already, yeah.
Wow. So I haven't been upstairs and look. Sorry.
Yeah, it's supposed to stop around 3 or 4 a.m., and then as soon as it stops, I got to go out. So I probably should be sleeping, but we're talking Boba Fett, so I had to be here.
Nice. Yo, this Book of Boba, bro, you know what time it is. Yeah. Like, the conversation has to go on. It's like we cannot actually have this conversation, so... And El Profesoro, Mario, how you doing, bro? I mean, you had quite the adventure today, man.
Yeah, man, stepped in some shit today, having quite the day, but, through the will of the Force, I was able to make it home today in one piece.
You literally did make it in one piece, like quick. Like you made it home quick. So that's what I'm so glad, bro. So glad to have you here, man. It is what it is. But yes, it's going to be exciting, man. We got Book of Boba episode 2, and I loved it. Like I mean, we got some surprises. A lot of people were, there were some things that there were some thoughts. Especially with cohesiveness from the first episode to the second episode of what they could have done. But hey, I'm happy what they did. So definitely excited. We're going to jump into that tonight. But first, let me address the chat for the Padawans. We have Luminar 843 in the building. Thank you for coming through. Malachi Mabane, 2K3, Tobar, Lewis Libbets. We have OG fan when Star Wars was just Star Wars. We have Ekwan in the building. We have the Ben Cave, Kinky Sphincter in the building. Bob Dylan in the clutch. I call him Bob Dylan in the clutch. That's his new nickname. Bob Dylan in the clutch. In the building. Thank you for coming through. Philip the Fool. Let's see here what else we have. Collector number 1, Ray C. Van City Collectible Gaming in the building. Man, we got some people here, man. So we definitely going to dive in. I mean, yeah, Book of Boba Fett, man. Listen, I mean, everything that I can want this to be so far is what it is so far, and I'm extremely excited about it. Cece, you saw the episode, right?
Yes. Yep.
So, overall thoughts before we dive in. Your overall thoughts about the episode. How'd you feel about it?
Certainly a step in the right direction, especially with the action. I don't I don't have a problem with the flashbacks when there's flashbacks like that. I think more of that, please. I think the Easter eggs were great as far as like the little comic references, and even I wasn't too familiar. It didn't strike me at first, but like the deleted scenes, even that they were able to incorporate from New Hope, I want to say.
Yes.
So I think it was definitely better than the first episode. I will say, because Takathri mentioned it in, I think it was the Collecting Weekly chat, that I kind of called it when I complained that I thought maybe it would be like a Dances with Wolves kind of situation where Fett steps in and tells Tuskens like, hey, you could easily, hey, let me solve this problem for you that you haven't figured out this whole time. Kind of like they somehow managed to make it a white savior complex, even though Tamara Morrison isn't actually white. But that was a little disappointing because I think it's kind of, you could see it from a mile away. But I do like that kind of walkabout peyote kind of inspired scene. The lizard situation I thought was really interesting. And the kind of rite of passage of him getting the gaffy stick, I think was probably my favorite part, actually. That and the train sequence that kind of harkened back to Solo. And a lot of westerns.
Yes, definitely, man. Like it was. Yeah, I think it had its emotional beats, definitely, and it was a side of Boba that made me understand choices because we wanted to understand his choices, and I think this kind of made us, understand the choices that were made. So definitely excited about that. What did you feel about the episode? Because I mean, I can almost imagine that you were up at 3:00 in the morning watching that episode. I don't know if you were or not, but I can almost imagine that you were.
Well, I couldn't stay up to watch the episode. However, when I did see it, it was a huge improvement over what we got, in my opinion, from the first episode. And I feel like we're getting in the groove of Boba now and understanding him more. It was longer episode, and the action was much better. I agree with CC3PO, regarding the action. It was just fantastic. There was even a payoff. There was something inside of that train. And the construction of the gaffy stick was amazing. He did it himself, and I thought that was great. I mean, I can see how helping the Tusken Raiders could be a motivation for Boba, but I still have to wonder, is there another motivation? And, I think that, does Boba take this venture as something that he needs to happen? And if it doesn't happen with him taking over, with respect, would he actually go further in another way? And, seeing that Wookiee for the first time, let's say, directly from the comics, I was terrified. Like that look he gave him, I was sweating like a Gumta on Mustafar, like Boba said in there. And, I shouldn't have, because once I realized, they work together and they know each other, it's like, maybe this is just another ally he has. And we might be seeing more people who are actually allies on the down low with Boba. And, he's worked for this moment for so long. This might be something he's been planning for 5 years. We may see more people from the comics. It's becoming so exciting. He's building trust and relationships.
Yes.
And I'm starting to wonder, is his goal really solely just taking over the underworld? Because, of course, he's gaining, the idea that, if he does this or doesn't succeed in this, does he have actually anything to lose? And, this is a mystery to me. And, even though he's a man who could probably, move galaxies if he wanted to, I have to wonder about that. And so we are seeing that Boba is able to make allies with the Tuskens. And it's even more than that. Perhaps he's even allies with the Twi'leks who are in the sanctuary, but we haven't seen that part. And of course, that vision quest that you mentioned, CC3PO, was just amazing. I mean, it looked like they blew something into space, and I wondered if that was spice too, right before the lizard went into him. And, I think what it really is showing us too is that Boba is being reborn. He came out of the Sarlacc pit. It's like coming out of a birthing canal. And then, he's a changed person. And we see that change, like when he gets those robes on him. And now he's redefined himself. He's part of the universe again, but now he's grown. And, I'm not worried about whether Boba fits in and whether he follows Fennec Shan's requests, because he's a quick study. And, I think even with the biggest challenge, he'll master it all. So for me, I gave this a 9 out of 10, because I'm still waiting for that bombshell that's going to shock me. And I know it's coming. I know it's coming because this episode showed me so many things that I loved. So many things that I can't stop talking about.
Yeah.
That I cannot wait for them to surprise me. And to be honest with you, that is a very good thing.
Yeah, definitely. We got a $2 super chat by Bob Dylan. Sent you so he sent this to me. I'm gonna share it with you guys real quick before I move on to Mario because it is kind of funny. I saw it. Yeah, it was probably one of the funniest scenes to me in the episode. And let me just share this real quick.
Yeah.
Yo,
Like a
Roll in.
You still got it. You still got it.
Yo, bro, hi, bro.
Oh,
Yo,
that's
that
good,
was
man.
like one of the funniest episodes, man. I loved it. I did. Bob Dylan in the clutch. Thanks for supplying the laughter, bro. I needed that, man. But definitely, yeah, Vinny, what did you feel about this, bro?
Near perfect, man. I mean, we spoke many times about how long we've been waiting for a Boba Fett show, and when we finally get one, and probably the last thing any of us thought would be world building with the Tusken Raiders, and yet they pulled it off. I mean, like they pulled it off in such a incredibly like fantastic fashion, and I think it's another ode to patience and giving stuff time to breathe, because I feel like a lot of the stuff that people had problems with in the first episode was going to be resolved, and it would have been really tough to get to what we got to in the second episode without that build up in the first. And then for those of us who wanted to see Boba just be plain badass, like if he doesn't lose that fight to the Tusken Warrior, then what is he, what's the point of him training, or what does he gain? What does he grow? So we're seeing Boba Fett, heal. We're seeing him grow, and we're seeing character development from somebody who, like, we all think of as this badass who is kind of built up in our minds more so than on film or screen. So we haven't seen tons of feats. It's more like what we've seen in Expanded Universe. This is the show giving us those feats on air. I love the flashbacks kind of catching us up to speed dramatically. So I'm not sure how much more flashbacks it'll bog down with, and I don't really think it is bogged down. Like when he's back with the Raiders, like I'm completely cool with it. And yeah, I mean, I'm sure I know you're gonna bring her up later, but Tusken Warrior like stole the show, man. Joanna Bennett,
bro.
I was absolutely blown away after the episode was over. I was like, I can draw her. And I went back and I was trying to get a good screen grab because I couldn't find any pictures online. And as I'm watching it, right, I'm trying to pause, and she's moving so fast. Almost every paused image is blurry because she's so fluid. I'm like, I have to find out who this is. Who is this stunt coordinator actor like playing this? And it was female, like, who's done a lot of other great stunt action work.
Bro, she's
Marvel
amazing.
DC films.
She's
and I was
so
like,
amazing. Yeah.
Mine was blown. I was just, and then like CC and everybody else mentioned about the gaffy stick, like as he came over that branch and they walked to the smithy, I guess you would call him, like I was like, please let him build it himself. I mean, it's kind of like the Star Wars way, right? Like Jedi have to build their own lightsaber. I was like, man, he better have to build that gaffy stick himself. It would mean so much more. And when he started showing him how to carve it, I was like, this is so crazy. Yeah, everything about this episode was just absolutely incredible, but yet, and I feel like in a unique way. I mean, we're getting some great stuff in the current day scenes, which is amazing. We've seen Black Cutters, we've seen BK, we've seen a new Chewbacca, new Wookiee. I mean, we've seen Hutts and all these fantastical Star Wars characters in current. But I feel like, again, who would have ever thought we'd like be so enamored by backstory of the Tusken Raiders, who have always been kind of like almost like just a gaff or joke in Star Wars lore, and we're seeing how serious that you can take them, and think about like what Tatooine used to be like. That was their home, and everything that we've seen in Star Wars lore since them shooting pod racers, them shooting land speeders. It's all get off our land. Like this is us. They're indigenous people. It adds so much more to their motivation, and that you have tribes that were, more savage than others. It's just beautiful. It's amazing world building that when you think of Boba Fett, I thought we'd be getting a lot of different things, and we got something totally left field, and I love it.
Yeah. I mean, Mario, I know how you sent me a message. Actually, you didn't send me a message. You said in like one of the posts, you were like, you liked it, but still you weren't really a fan of the the flashback scenes, but you liked it. Yeah, you know what I mean. So I wondered, did it win you over slightly, or are you still sitting in that same space?
Okay, so I'm typically not a fan of flashbacks. Now this is something for what they did. I wish they would have taken the flashbacks from the first episode and what they did on this one, and just used that for the entire rendition of the first episode. All right. So just give me like an entire flashback scene and then just move on, because I want to see, the Boba Fett Mafia in progress. I want to see what's going on with that. So while this, that's not to take away the backstory with the Tusken Raiders. I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, it was a side of the Tuskens that we never saw before, all the way from, a different kind of tribe, and it kind of humanized them in a sense. You felt for them. You felt like sympathy towards them, and for everything that that they were going through, for being shot out by the Pike Syndicate, who we found out that it was. So that was pretty cool to see them again, all the way coming all the way from the Clone Wars.
They've always had one of
those. And now through here, and to see them like running spice. I'm gonna jump around all over the place, man, because there's so much stuff that's going through my head right now.
I feel you. Go ahead.
Talking about the Pikes, how they pull them over and they're like, "Hey, you're not running spice, are you? Spice? What's that?" It's like they opened up the crate like it's that. So that was really cool. We saw the Tashi station, man. Did anybody catch that?
Yeah, we did.
I know you caught that. I know everybody caught that.
We did.
Tashi station.
Yes, we did.
Going back to see Fixer and Cammy again. So that was a hell of a trip. That was a nice callback. I love how they recreated that deleted scene, that location, and just brought it back to life. At the same time, I mean, like Vinny just said, how you say his name? Black Chrysanthemum?
It's black. It's the black chrysanthemum.
Yeah, okay. I
think it's chrysanthemum. You're supposed to roll it. You're supposed to roll the tongue. I think is the only person who can do it. The black chrysanthemum.
Vinny is like down with him like two flat tires. He just called him K. What is it?
BK.
BK
all day.
Yeah.
BK all day.
BK. Yeah.
Have it your way.
Yeah.
You can have it your way.
Have
it your way. BK all day.
BK, and he's got it his way. Just like Burger King. And I like that they kind of fixed a plot hole with the Pikes where people complained that they look so different in Solo versus the Clone Wars, and it's like, well, in Solo they're wearing the masks, so here we saw them unmasked. And it's like, oh, well, that's exactly how they looked in the Clone Wars. I thought that was really cool.
Exactly.
I have a question for you all, and maybe you can answer. And to be honest with you, this Wookiee, I was so frightened of him, but his look, it was just being able to convey the look in this without even saying a word. Just fantastic performance by this actor. But what I was curious about was the Tusken Raiders are not part of the underworld, are they?
Nah, they're a totally different. So there's
everybody gone.
Yeah. Like there's a difference, and I think here's my thing, and this is what got me thinking a bit, because you kind of alluded to it when you were talking about does he have a different agenda. I think that what he's doing is trying to establish a level of premise and presence there, to whereas he makes it safe for the Tuskens, considering the simple fact that he is now, or he was basically welcomed in. But he wants it to whereas, and then the thing is, because what I loved about this episode is that it touched on real world facts, real world issues when it comes to indigenous cultures and how sacred land is being, constantly violated. And I think that what he's trying to do basically by him coming in the way he is, and it's like, seriously, like I'm starting to see this as the simple fact that him going back to Tatooine was him fulfilling an oath, in a sense, that he would make it safe for them,
Right.
To roam and have their own space in their lands. Like, that's what I think is so special to me about this episode, and what I'm liking so far about the first 2 episodes, because we are seeing the Tuskens in a totally different light. They're not just there, and they explained it so well in this episode that there are Tusken tribes out there that the only way that they can survive is by killing. We decided to stay away and just stay sacred and stay hidden the way they are, and he was like, look, well, you shouldn't. Now you have machines, now you can fight back. Look, I am a fan. I never thought I was going to be a fan of a Tusken warrior, bro. But she stole this. She steals every scene, bro. Like every scene. I just cannot stop watching her, bro.
Yeah.
I really can't. Like, she steals every scene. And to see that in the end, bro, to see that rite of passage, to see that he took that, because here's the thing. It was another thing that I thought about. When they basically, when he actually went on his own journey through the actual vision and the dream, it was sort of like that dream was telling me that, look, Boba, you've been holding on to this anger, you've been holding on to this hurt, you've been holding on to so much, and because you never felt that you had a place to belong, now you do. Let go, let it all go, and find yourself, find your peace. And through that journey, that's what I felt he did. He took the journey, came back with the stick, and it's their way of saying, okay, now you fulfilled your destiny. This is where you need to. This is how you move forward, and this is what you need to do. Bro, it was so dope. I kept rewinding that scene, and I was like, yo, damn, it's so late. I can't call anybody, man. Like, I can't call anybody and talk about it. Even though Mario was like 3 hours behind me, man, he probably ain't going.
No, I was up. Best believe I was up watching that, dude.
Bro, it was, I don't know what it was about this episode, and I loved I gave it, look, for certain things, but still, I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I did. I literally gave it a 9.5 out of 10 because they touched on so many different things, bro. Even Hugh, he was like, yo, I cried this episode. I kind of teared up too for him because just seeing that journey, and because he's always like, he's tormented by these things, man. And it's his way of finding his peace. And with these flashbacks, again, it's hearkening to Book of Boba. This is what we're seeing. It's the Book of Boba, his journey, past, present, and what we will see in the foreseeable future. And that's just basically the way I took it. Cece, you wanted to say something because I saw your mouth moving.
Like, I'm not suppressing a sneeze or anything. Well, I think Hugh is emotional because he knows how much money he's going to spend on the collectibles that are going to come out for this episode. And I agree, because I'm definitely going to be that one who buys the Gaffy stick when it gets released by Regal Robot. I have a spot planned for it and everything. But I agree with everything you said, but I will say that I think it's not necessarily his journey to find peace, but purpose. And I think that's what bothered me about the first episode is like, he strolls in and he's like, I'm now the crime lord. Well, why does he want to be a crime lord? Like, what's the motivation? And I think now the gears are turning, we're starting to put the pieces together, and it almost reminds me of like a Robin Hood, or dare I say like Thrawn situation, where he joined the Empire because he thought the Empire was his best chance of creating an ally essentially for the Chiss ascendancy. So it's almost like, can't beat him, join him. Like, Boba Fett doesn't feel like he's had a purpose. He's got identity issues with being a clone and, being a clone of Jango and having to see all these clones of the Clone Wars, and the cultural aspects of Mandalore being a creed versus like a race or ethnicity. So I think it's more like he's working to be a crime lord so that he could protect people like the Tuskens. And stepped on by these bigger operations like the Pike. I like that scene with I don't think they're the Pikes, but Jason just told me the name of them. The group the biker gang basically that was in the bar.
I call them the Justice League gang because that's their tag.
Jail.
Yeah, it looked like someone said in Huttese that's a K, I think. That's
what do you mean? The tribe or the
that biker gang that he went to the
it's the
But I like
we also saw them in Clone and
They're tax
Rebels.
collectors, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't know.
They certainly seem like enforcers, but I liked how it kind of took me out of the universe a bit, but I liked how authentic their like leathers were, where it looks like an outlaw motorcycle gang. They even had like patches, colored patches, and I think everyone knows some of the more famous ones that the outlaw motorcycle gangs use. I thought that was a really interesting touch. And then I don't know if you guys saw, this is out of left field, but just like you're saying, Mario, like mine's going in different directions because there's so much in this episode. But someone pointed out that one of the shots, the cinematography from this episode of the Tusken camp looked exactly like the set dressing looked exactly like the McQuarrie concept art of the Tusken Raiders.
Jason McCory.
Yeah. I thought that was a really nice nod.
Yeah.
Well, what's also interesting about what both of you are saying is that presumably through the years, as Boba, as well as BK, have been bounty hunters, they've probably done jobs that have added to, enslavement, to, all sorts of, negative things that have happened to people throughout the galaxy. And it is great that Boba feels that this might be a chance to redeem himself, to make things right. And so this could be, sort of a personal thing for him where he's like, yeah, I probably shouldn't have helped them, capture that entire planet and do this. And I shouldn't have done these things. We haven't seen that, but I imagine for someone with his experience, with all the lives that he's changed and affected, does have regrets. And perhaps this is going to allow him to kind of forgive himself for things that he may have done that might have not been that great or might have been a little wrong. And now he can make those things right again. And I also wanted to ask you all, looking at BK, that glance that he gave Boba, what is he saying to Boba, in your opinion? What is he saying? Because he is certainly saying a lot in that look and glance that he gave Boba as he walked away.
Oh, that's hood speak.
That is, you know what?
Because what's up?
Yeah, I think it's a sign of respect. Because you know what? I was dying on that scene though, because Vinny, I was gonna hit you up, bro. I was laughing my ass off because when they were staring at each other, when he first walked up and Boba was standing there, I just imagined you walking past, bro, and just looking at Boba's like, I know he ain't gonna let him punk you like that, right? And then just walking off, bro.
he gave him the what you gonna do about it look.
Exactly, like what you gonna do? But nah, I think again, I mean, look, bounty hunter to bounty hunter or bounty hunter to warrior, it's like, okay, a sign of respect, but I'm here for a job. I'm here for a specific reason. So however this is going to go down, it's going to go down. We can respect each other as warriors, but it might go down. I think in the end we're going to see. I can't wait to see him in action because he is really legit a beast in everything that he's been in. He is legit a beast. And I think also, Mario, isn't he in the actual game coming up as well?
I think I saw him in the game.
Yeah, he was in that game
that they got coming out.
Yeah, so he's in an actual game. So I can't wait, man. Like this scene, and it's this like like a tease to what's to come. But they got to stop playing with me, man. Give me something.
He looks incredible. Yeah, I think everyone who had a hand in creating that costume, an actor within it, big ass job. He just looked amazing. His eyes. I like that he was obviously a Wookiee, but he had so much other things because of all the, God forbid, the real Wookiees that we know are Chewie, obviously, and then the holiday special, which we'd rather not go into. So I appreciated his look in this episode.
Yeah.
Hood speak.
Louis Labitz, Vinny, hood speak, my man.
That's how it goes.
Definitely. But yeah. Now, here's my thing, because it was funny in the very beginning. I was really hoping. I was hoping she wasn't playing. I was hoping that there was going to be a Rancor down there somewhere. I was really wanting.
Oh, that was great. Yeah,
I thought that was cruel.
Yeah, it was.
I was like, come on, that's such a tease. Like,
yeah.
I watched it. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? There's no fucking
how could it have been?
Like,
it was good right after Return of the Jedi. They wouldn't, and then Jabba died. Like, who would have replaced the Rancor and why?
Right.
Someone said that, I think, what was it, in Bad Batch? You found out that like he had just bought like a baby Rancor.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, who was feeding the baby Rancor? Like, where did the baby Rancor go?
Yeah.
Mario
That,
wants me to know.
yeah.
Scene.
Scene.
Aren't they also saying that in the Bad Batch that could be the Rancor that we saw from Jabba's palace?
Oh, so
I
he's
mean,
already
because the
dead.
timeline kind of makes
Yeah.
sense. So it's possible it could have been him.
Yeah, single songwriter. I'm right there with you. If they do that Wookiee, he will. The Gladiator Wookiee will be. Yeah, the Black Chrysanthemum will be 385, possibly,
How big is a 1/6
and I'll buy
scale
it.
Wookiee?
But and it'll come with the rat prostitute bikini babe. Did you see?
Oh my god, that was terrifying.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Like I
That
think it was
crazy.
Jason was like, "Oh my god, it's the dude from Suicide Squad in a bikini."
Exactly. Yep.
In
That's
the
what.
slave
That's
night
what it looked like.
bikini.
What?
I don't
The-
even know.
Okay, so I only saw
Did
this
anyone
once. It
notice
sounds
that?
like y'all got to see this like 10 times already.
Bro, you
I
got
don't
it.
know about
Watch
that.
it again.
I don't know how
Catch
you
it out
could have
again,
missed
yeah.
it.
You could not have missed that, bro.
Yeah.
It was
Like my
terrible.
life.
I mean, I was watching it like at what
You gotta
12
watch
o'clock
it.
at
You
night,
deserve
maybe,
the
so-
nightmares too.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah. I
it
gotta
was,
go. I
it
gotta
was
go check it out
jarring.
again.
It was jarring.
Yeah. It was really jarring, bro. But it is what it is. But like, question. So really quick question though. Because again, when we talk about the Tusken Raiders and the Tusken Warriors, that tribe, we're seeing a side that really, like, again, we saw him at first as a slave. And then because he proved himself, now we're seeing that he was welcomed in. And because he proved himself, we started seeing a more, I want to say, empathetic version of that tribe. Because now my worry is, though, because seriously, that the kid has latched onto him. I hope they don't kill that kid off, bro, because it might set him off. Because you got to think of it. It's like sort of like, when I think of it, it's sort of like a paying it forward type of situation, or we're seeing a reverse because of how he was towards Django as a kid. He was so just fascinated by Django as his father, but what his father could do, he was just proud. So now we're seeing a switch where this kid is just looking at Boba as if, he's the real deal. Like, I look up to this guy. I want him to. And he was so happy when he came back. Like, all he could do is, like, literally everything. Like, it's like Boba took him under his wing in a sense, to try to, not only just for protection, but just because maybe he feels something like, I need like a connection sort of how he was as a kid to that child. Do you think that's possible?
When he came out the tent with the new threads, and the kid went up and was like, "My man, is this velvet?"
Yeah, right.
I was like, "That boy's dying."
Yeah, like he's.
I mean, he's at least going to be in trouble. It's at least going to be a unleash Boba Fett, berserker mode outlet. You know what I mean? Something's going to happen to that kid to make Boba go, Boba Fett.
He's gonna go. You think he's gonna literally go a bit nuts if something like that happens too? Yeah, I again, CC, you hit it right on the nose because they're about to release some product. Like, seriously, if they release that Tusken Warrior, I'm all over that day one because her on that train.
Yeah,
like,
you see how fast she was moving through the windows,
bro.
I'm telling you, I couldn't wait to draw her, yo.
Yeah, no, she was great. Just infiltrating that car.
Yeah,
pulls up. The funny part, she comes out and
sees the other two.
The other two are like right behind him shooting at everybody. She's like, "Hey, what's going on, everybody?" She goes back down, and then you see one go down, and she's just tearing shit up. She's a complete badass.
Yeah, bro.
No, she was awesome, man. She was awesome.
She was a beast. Like, she was definitely a beast, bro. Like, and then like just the whole process of her teaching him their way. You know what I mean? Teaching him how to fight. Even when he thought he had the upper hand, it was just like, he got too comfortable. She did that flip, grabbed it, and just took him out. But it's just her teaching him to, like, never let your guard down. And it's like, if we already thought he was cool as hell before, and now he's just taking his cool to a totally different level, learning, like, it's just like, you know what? You're a martial artist, and you're learning something totally different. You know what I mean? Like, wow, like he is just, and I think that this is part of his journey, and we're seeing in him. Like it made me feel like you're right. Dances with Wolves, where he's just learning things. He's learning something totally different from what he's used to, and he's going to use that going forward. And I think we saw, like, now her teaching him, harking back to what we saw of his return in The Mandalorian, in that scene, and how he fought with that gaffy stick. It was like, yo, he mixed a little of what she taught him plus his fury and went nuts. And then it was just so damn ironic they did release those damn figures right after the episode was over. I was like, yes,
That was wild.
bye, immediately. So I was it.
Absolutely.
I already had it coming anyway. So it was like, yeah, but I thoroughly, like, literally, I now here's the thing, because I know a lot of people were thinking about it, but don't worry. Finnick is going to get her time to shine, because everybody was like, yo, so far we thought it was going to be a Boba and Finnick type of, camaraderie, but it's just, I think they have to do it the way they've done it this far right now, just to kind of segue into everything else. And I think we're going to see Finnick get loose and get her time to shine as well. What you think about that, though?
I think she will. And, we're going to find out that Fennec probably also has a specific reason for wanting to back Boba in this venture. I think if she didn't think that what he was doing was right, she would have told him already. And, even though she has some loyalty to Boba, she's not afraid to challenge him and tell him, no, I don't think you should do that. And so she's 100% has his back in this. But I think that she also has the information and knows that what he's doing is something that he has to do. This is beyond the point of, whether or not it's something he wants to do. I think that Boba is so far into this plan of his that he has to execute this. Yeah. And, maybe if he isn't successful, it could be disastrous for him. And so I'm trying to see how Fennec is going to be that support system, but also a person who's going to be able to sort of build bridges between people when Boba isn't able to do that right away until he kind of learns the ways of Tatooine, because I think he wants to take over the entire planet. I think once he gets Tatooine, he's going to want to do, like, maybe go even further than just the underworld, so to speak. I think he's going to be somebody who's going to change the galaxy more. It'll be more of a profound effect than if he became the leader of Mandalore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good point, a great point. What's going on? What did I miss? Because I'm trying to find some stuff here. But yeah, it's a great point. The thing is, even with this, and so here, and somebody brings up a great point. Do you think? Okay, so where we sit in the timeline? Because I know a lot of people, when they saw BK, do you think? And I don't think in the timeline we're going to actually see Dr. Aphra. I don't. Do you?
Is she still around?
That's what I'm wondering. Is she still around? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think so, but I could be wrong.
I think they were close together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite a bit before. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm wondering, like, anybody out in the chat, what do you think? Do you think there's a possibility that we can see Dr. Aphra? I know who we are going to see, but is there a possibility that, we would? Now, okay, so let me ask this question also. Because we talked about it, one of our earlier shows, of who we thought we were going to see as far as the bounty hunters. Now, we're on episode 2, and there's like how many episodes? 7?
Yeah, 5 more left.
Do you still think it's time to see them all?
I hope not.
All of them?
No, save some.
You said save some?
For the finale.
Or save a few, or okay, so out of all of them, who would you want to see? Like, who would you want to see in this episode? Even if it was a few of them, who would you want, not in the episode, but in the series, who would you want to see?
Dengar and Bosk.
Well, I feel like they dropped the ball on how to introduce Dengar, because Dengar saves him from the Sarlacc pit. So it's kind of like they kind of have to, I don't know. Having him would just remind you that they switched it up dramatically. I feel like IG in this show is like they already kind of used him for Mandalorian, and they already done that type of character. I feel like I don't know if what's his name, the shorter droid, I forget, Forlom.
Forlom,
yeah.
I don't know
I
if
think they
Forlom.
also
I
for
don't know if
Mandalorian
Forlom,
too. That same droid, I think that's kind of an iteration of him as well. So
yeah,
what?
to your
Forlom
point
kind
with the
of
IG
translate
unit,
to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd use Forlom in a show like this. I think we might see Bosk.
Well, we could definitely.
I
That
know everyone wants to see Cad Bane.
I would love to see
oh for
Cad.
sure.
Yeah, Cad Bane is, man. He was.
Now Leo's got this look
He was
on his face like he
incredible in
knows
some
something.
ways.
Look at him.
Yeah,
Look at him. Look at him.
I
Yeah.
Look
don't
at
know
him. You know
nothing.
he's just dying to tell us something.
I don't know
man.
nothing. I don't know
You
nothing.
Don't know nothing.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
I don't
Get out of here
know
with
I
that
know
look on your
something, but
face,
I'm not
man.
going to tell y'all. But every time you mention something close, I'm
I don't.
like,
I don't know nothing. I just
Yeah,
said
no,
I want to
I'm
see him too. I want to see him too, just like everybody else. I hope that we see Cad. Like people seem to think about who is it? We got Thomas Brown. He said Cad Bane, and then we got who is that? The Ben Cave. No doubt, Cad Bane is coming. So I mean, everybody tends to think. I mean, hey, everybody out there, you see, Bane, he said, yo, definitely Cad Bane. Like, it's a couple people out there that said Cad Bane. Like, we're definitely going to see him. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, we know
They
that
might
he has
say-
history now with Fennec also, along with Boba too. So it's like,
If we
Yeah.
don't see, if we don't see Cad in this, I feel like we got to see him in Kenobi. So one way or the other, we got to get him.
Yeah.
I
I
feel like he
mean,
makes more
Hondo.
sense. I feel like he makes more sense in Kenobi from timeline wise, but
yeah.
we'll see. Who knows how his race ages?
yeah, that's
Well,
true.
if we see him in this, then he ages quite well. You know what
You know
I
what I
mean?
mean?
So,
'Cause it's been a really long time since Clone Wars era.
you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Some people are saying, Aurora's saying, I don't know because she died, remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gone.
She was
Like
actually
it.
killed, so I don't think we'll actually see her at all in this. It would have been crazy if we did. Definitely would have been crazy if we did, but I doubt definitely.
It
that
could
we
be
will.
more flashbacks way before Return of Jedi. It could
No,
have been his
no more
training.
flashbacks,
Just,
please.
no, just for Mario or Sing flashbacks.
How dare
Or
you,
a Zing
sir?
flashback. I don't know.
No,
So,
man, I'm done with these flashbacks, y'all. Please, just make it
I do
stop.
think the flashbacks are going to start teetering out just because we are getting so close to the end.
mhm.
The only
I feel
flashback
like-
I want to see is when they kill the kid, and that's it. And then we're going to see a reason for Boba doing what he's doing.
I'm just going
It's
to
gonna
start
be
calling you
BK the
Anakin
ones that take him
Skywalker
out.
because we just want all these younglings to die. for
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
so two things we don't want to actually
I
see.
do feel like the flashbacks kind of like got us pretty up to speed. We might just have how he leaves them flashback, and then
Yeah.
I think they might focus more on, current timeline.
So if you don't, meaning like if you don't want to see the flashbacks, then that also basically means that you don't want to see him get inside of that BAFTA tank because if he does, then we'll see a flashback.
Yeah, exactly. Basically.
So you
yeah.
wanted to see him out of
Yeah.
that BAFTA tank. You know what I mean? I don't know how much longer he
wanna
needs to
see
be in
him-
it.
Yeah, I need to see
I
him
feel
take
like-
care of business.
Yeah.
I feel like
All that fun
that
stuff.
back to tank is a very interesting plot device too, because obviously he didn't have the luxury of a back to tank while he was, with the
Mhm.
Raiders.
Yeah.
He probably would have needed it that whole time,
Mhm.
and we seen him use it after the attack in the town,
Mhm.
town square or whatever. But given all the shit he's been through in his life, even before the
Mhm.
Sarlacc pit, but including the Sarlacc pit and the exposure and all the wear and tear of everything that he's been through, that might just be some their version in their world of Bengay, man. They might just
It's the tools
rich
of the
people,
trade.
yeah, like rich people in that world in Star Wars might just have back to tanks at their crib, like instead of rubbing some Bengay at the end of a
That's their thing,
just jump in there like, I feel better. Just that could be their spa.
man.
I think I
look.
said it after the first episode because I think Jason brought it up too when we were watching it that I think that the back to tank is a crutch. He doesn't need it, but he feels like he needs it because we certainly saw him kick ass in Mando, and he certainly didn't need to he didn't have Mando or Fennec running to him to get him quickly in a back to tank because he needed to recover from killing all those stormtroopers. No, we didn't see that. So I think it's one of those Jason thought maybe it's something that he's addicted to, almost
Yeah.
like a narcotic.
Yeah.
Could be like,
Or I wonder if it's he doesn't actually need it. He just feels more comfortable and safe And that's like his way, his like
Yeah.
his meditation chamber. That's when he can contemplate his past and like think about his future, and that's why we're seeing the flashbacks when he's in the bank tank.
Yeah.
And it does look like, I mean, who knows? I mean, again, like that inhalation and that, that acid that he, experienced from being inside of the Sarlacc pit, being digested, you know what I mean? And, the burns and everything that he actually experienced. It's like, we don't, who knows how, bad it was actually killing him or hurting him. You know what I mean? Like he was probably just in so much intense pain. So I guess it's just, you're right. Like he might be addicted to it because it's like, it's eliminating the actual level of pain, but he became, more so, again, an addict in a sense, is just wanting to constantly heal. And I don't know.
See, we'll know if he just randomly starts like lifting the helmet, giving himself some Bacta spray, and just like, gotta take the edge.
We're watching an episode and we're like, is that a vape pen?
Yeah, right. Just like, you gotta take it off a little bit. Just take that edge off.
He's just gonna blow it in the Hut faces.
You don't,
those twins' faces.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting though, because it's like the twins, like, both the twins in that conversation, like, bro, it's like everybody keeps telling him sleep light. Sleep light. Like literally, you don't. But all right, so here's my thing, because I know there were a lot of theories as well. There's been a couple of theories, and people believe that, all right, we still don't know if the Hutts were responsible for that hit. We still don't know yet. So do you think that it was the twins, or do you think there's a much bigger thing? Because again, when the mayor was explaining it to him, it was just like, huh?
I believe the mayor.
You believe the mayor?
I believe
yeah.
him. And the audio in his voice, like again, they had just amazing rumble bass while he was talking and having the translator translate it. But the audio in this show is incredible. I definitely believe the mayor though. I felt like he would just told him straight up if it was him.
So you think that there's but see, that's what I'm saying. Like, can we say that it's actually the Hutts? Do we think it's the Hutts? Or do we think it's somebody else?
Maybe it's just the twins and not the rest of the Hutt syndicate.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, do we think it's those twins though?
I mean,
could it be something else at play?
I feel like it's
too early to tell.
Yeah, I mean, you never say never. It could be anything else. It could be, I don't think that they're gonna like keep having it be somebody different every week. You know what I mean? Like we thought it was the mayor, and then we find out it's the Hutts, and then next week we find out no, it's really some. I don't know how far we're gonna go down that rabbit hole. I think we figured it out by it being the Hutts. I just felt for the slaves having to carry their ass around town.
But the people on Tatooine are afraid of those twins, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And it could be the mayor. The mayor actually did orchestrate it because, like, it's a lesser of two evil situations. He'd prefer the twins.
But see, here's the thing: was when we say the twins, because they came there strictly because number one, they're giving him a chance to give us back. You know what I mean? The palace. This is what we're owed by right. Mm-hmm. Give it to us, and then go about your way. But someone is literally trying to kill him. You know what I mean? Like they're literally trying to assassinate him. If it was the play of the Hutts, let me see here. Give me a second here.
Another thing too that I saw that I thought was fascinating was that Fennec also mentioned that they would need permission too to kill the Hutts, right? If it was really them. So who else is involved?
Yeah.
On top of that, so
we might. Give me a second here. My mom has been taken to the hospital.
Oh no.
Yeah. I might have to duck out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in it.
Yeah, we might have to cut it short, unfortunately.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because this is some things are happening. But yeah, we might have to actually cut it short. Again, we will continue this again because this is an interesting discussion. I just got that message from my sister just now. But yes, we will continue with this discussion going forward. Real quick, I want to address the super chats. We had Superhero Display said, I feel this episode would make George Lucas proud. Definitely it would have. You know, seeing that actually play out. Also, we got a $1.79 from Superhero Displays. I love Tamora's face when fighting. Very Maori. Yes, very Maori. And I basically know it's in his comfort zone. So definitely love that. Again, we have Dar here.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Probably late, but Black Kurasantan. Yes. We'll talk about that more. I'm sorry that we have to cut this show a bit short, but I do have to because, like I said, they just rushed my mom to the hospital. My sister.
Yeah, go take care of her, bro.
Yeah.
So, again, everybody, tune in. We'll actually probably have a bit more of this discussion with this episode and mix it with next week's episode. I'm sorry that we got to duck out right now, but I got to kind of tend through some things. So, again, if you haven't already subscribe to everybody's here. Sorry that we have to do this right now, but again, we will be back and we will continue with this discussion next week and see how everything goes. Okay. So again, as always, stay uncivilized. May the force be with everybody there. We love y'all and we'll see you next week.
So uncivilized.